Hey, hello everyone. Hi America. What's going on today? How you doing? Today is October the 12th, 2023. My name is Michael Tomlinson. I am an American Jew. Boo, boo, boo. And, it's, I wasn't even, I'm making a video today to talk about how I was not going to make a video. I haven't made a video in a while. I was hoping to change things up, have a different format going on, and I'm finding this background and what I'm doing kind of old myself. So I'm trying to be a little bit more creative or put some more time and energy into my videos. Which I'm sure nobody really cares about anyways. I mean, it really doesn't matter, does it? Or maybe it does. We'll find out. But the point being is I wasn't going to make any videos until I changed up something. And unfortunately, that decision does not belong to me. It's not my decision to make. So I made that decision, of course, but I just, the universe just lets me know. Says, no, dude, you have to, this is what you have to do. This is what you should be doing, or happily be doing. It's just inside, and it kind of bubbles out, and so it just has to be done. It's strange. It's really, I can't even describe. I can't even put it into words, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of things in my life I cannot describe or put into words. Or even if I tried, the words stop right there. I mean, it just won't allow me, or my brain won't allow me, or have an emotional breakdown if I try to really get into it. About certain things that have happened that I guess I'm just not meant to share in some ways. It's just something that's meant to be experienced, and whoever experiences it, has that experience, and whoever had it, like me, then where I'm coming from. You can't talk about it. It's not that you can't. It's that you're just for some reason not allowed to talk about it. You just can't talk about it. Okay, let's set that aside because the real thing that's kind of what we should be talking about is a whole different conversation about things I have talked about in the past, and connecting it with some sort of spiritual awakening, some sort of spiritual enlightenment, and that's what the message is, and so instead of talking about characteristic traits with people and Americans, which I have been doing for years and years and years, because that's just the status quo conversation we have that people relate to. But I don't think anyone cares about having. It just doesn't really turn out to be a conversation, because 80% or more Americans already live there, already kind of have that going on. So the last thing they want to do is talk about procrastination, because we all procrastinate. We're talking about narcissism. We're talking about being, vanity, false pride, ego, but just goes on and on and on, right? Bad characteristic traits that people we hear and we use every day. But I'm here to take it to a different level, different place. So you just have to bear with me on what I'm saying here. As American, this is all about uniting Americans. And first of all, it's and using love, using compassion, using a common sense way of thinking, being a free thinker. These are all aspects and principles of what's going on. But So when I say spiritual awakening or spiritual attacks, spiritual battlefield, I think that's the one word I've used a lot. It's a spiritual battlefield. Now, why would I say that? Where'd that come from? It's not like I'm personally just, as an individual, as a person, I'm just a believer of sorts, a believer in a lot. So I won't say I don't believe in Jesus. I won't say I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I believe in the universe. But I won't deny the other human factors. I won't, Buddhism. There's even people that do crystals and all that kind of stuff, which other groups say, oh, that's witchery. I don't see that as witchery, but I know I can, it's just a way of dividing the spiritual awakening and adventure for everyone. Even though they may say some of those spiritual awakenings or journeys are wicked. And the only way it can be really wicked if people are with intentions or taking it to wicked places. They've sold out. They've given in to evil, and they know who they are. And hence why the words, like when I use words false pride or ego, narcissistic, doesn't bother them because they already know it. They're already inherently evil people, right? But to see it, golly, see that's what I was talking about in the beginning. To describe something or to understand of seeing something and translating it into words, it's very difficult. Difficult for me, because there probably are no words right now today. And we'll have to create the words in the future to get more understanding. Let's talk about just the basic evil factors. How this happens. How does it become a spiritual battlefield out there in the regular world, and we're just doing our thing, and we wonder why, we're being messed with other people, why people are being mean, why people are doing this, why people are doing that, why people are feeling, running around thinking they're entitled to everything, and more people are running around America thinking they're privileged and have entitlements. And that's, again, goes into evil. This might be several videos because I'm just going to talk about the first aspect of how I perceive evil that we Americans, that American Tears, you and I can understand. You can always add more to the conversation in the comments, okay? But, it's the way I see it in the birth of evil and people is that it starts in the mind. It just starts there. It's just kind of like a little bit of a whisper, kind of a little bit of a, kind of a, thing where, it maybe starts small with like, it's procrastination, but they're going to say, let's be lazy. Let's just not do that. Or why bother doing that? And then we wonder, like, why didn't I do that? And it's, that's what I mean by it starts in the mind. And that's, evil can get in people's minds and be just suggestive, and try to keep people down from, getting up and facing the world, or even laughing or smiling or being happy. It kind of will start to manifest itself into thoughts in the mind and start to create justifications and excuses. Evil is the king of justifications and excuses. So if you're giving yourself these justifications and excuses as to what you're doing and why you're doing it, because you can justify it to yourself, or you have excuses to avoid it, accountability, it's evil working in your mind, and the thing is, the sad thing is that no one realizes it. They don't see it. They can't sense it. Evil's very cunning. It's secretive in the way it works. It doesn't just show up in the brain and say, I'm evil, here I am, raw. No, start small. Little things, and then all of a sudden you're getting upset. You're becoming unhappy. And the more upset and happy you get, the more excuses and justifications. I'm not going to say you feed yourself. This is why it's a different conversation. But this is where evil will feed you the information, to have more excuses and more justifications, just to slowly build you up and to becoming hateful or becoming mean or disgruntled, or upset like that, or driving like a maniac and wondering, why am I so angry? And you don't even know why. You just know you're angry, right? How many days and parts throughout the day that all of us have experienced that? We don't even know why. We try to associate it with things and point fingers and blame and complain, but inherently it's just evil, kind of feeding more and more and more. And the more it gets listened to, the more people start to react to it. React. And I'm using the word react for now because it's important. So they react to life in a negative way. It's just a reaction. And like I said, people don't even know why they're reacting that way. They just know that the drive, something in front of them is pissing them off. Or somebody behind them, or something in some person, place, or thing is all of a sudden, like making them angry, or making me angry, or making you angry, and so, but instead of stepping back and taking a deep breath and thinking about that, it's already inherently, the evil's already played its cards out in our own brain. So it's already kind of spinning around to justify again, like why you hate, instead of thinking about like where does this come from. I guess that's what I'm trying to get. I'm freaking myself out here, because why you hate, and then thinking of hate and being reactive to it, are probably three different factors going on that I'm crossing over. Sorry to do that to you, because it starts off with a fundamental mindset. That's maybe a better way of saying it, and how it starts, and it gets in your brain, and that's the reason why I say it helps create justifications and excuses to bring you down, or to make you react toward everything, react toward the news, just reaction, like, ugh, look at them, they're doing it again, or look at that person, he's doing it, just kind of spinning off, and after a while, we don't even know why we're doing it. That's where I'm crossing myself over. And why we're hating. We just know we hate. Or we're going to be mean toward. Or we can't let people know we're being hateful towards something. And so we try to maybe put on a front like we're happy, but in private or in our own lives, we're really unhappy and hateful. And without reaching for the right help, which is part of the brain, which is part of the false pride, not reaching out for help. Ego, not reaching out for help. People are just so letting evil settle in their mind and in their brain to where it's become justifiable now. They have excuses, And I can think of all kinds of great examples off the top of my head as young adults living with their parents, and then using the platform of general life, like, oh, because there are no jobs, there's nothing I can do. It just goes on and on, but it's all justifications and excuses. Nothing's really grounded. It's not like it's got really a force behind it. It's just a way of convincing others that you thought it through. Now and that's why you can't face life on life's terms, and to avoid life on life's terms, which is what we all had to do, and that mindset and that mind frame. And let me take a little bit deeper about what I just said too, and as far as being a young adult and facing the consequences, of life on life's terms, which is why a lot of Americans are broke and tired, and or tired and broke or whatever, today, because you can get tired. You can go broke. It's just the way it's rigged, the way its system has been set up. Because I remember being a young adult, like in the 18, 19 years old. Years old, but I needed to, my parents did not even want me living in their house. So they pretty much kicked me out of the house before I even turned 18. I had to go out there and face the world and do what I could. And I didn't even know anything about living on my own, of course. I wanted to go back and live with my dad, where everything was already there, and I didn't have to do anything, just hang out in my bedroom and just do, listen to music, or watch TV, talk to some friends, but not really worry about life on life's terms, not having to deal with it. But I was a person that had to deal with it, and it's an experience. I was about to say it's very lame or it's messed up, and it is, depending on how you do it, or understanding you have no choice but to do it. You have no choice but to put on your big boy pants or big girl pants and get out there and just do it, because there is no choice. There is no family to fall back on. There's nothing to fall back on. So you just, we just have to go out there and do it. So I really wasn't all that highly educated either. So that job, I took a job at a car wash. Okay, that was like my job for a while. And with that job, I had to go get an apartment. Come to find out, I can't afford an apartment with my wages. I mean, I added up what I was making weekly and monthly, and then looking at apartments, and it was just not financially, meeting up to this, and not even getting close. Cost of living's up here, how much money I'm making is down here, and I could not figure out, like, I guess I was kind of like thinking in my own mind, like, it will just come together. Like, just get this job, get an apartment, move forward. But I found out really, really, really fast that, yeah, you have this job, you're making money, you're making a minimum wage job. And I can't even go find, I can't afford a one bedroom or even maybe a studio kind of efficiency apartment, that's somewhere. And so, long story short, I ended up, moving in with some like roommate kind of people, but it was on the other side of town. The only place that had apartments for rent, cheap, was like in the war zone, in the hood. It was like this blocks upon blocks upon blocks of apartments, and that you can move there, but it's a shady area of town. And I was like, wow, I have to go live in the shady area of town. And not only that, but I had to take the bus, a bus ride like an hour to my job and a bus hour back, to my whatever, my apartment with roommates that I could barely afford to live in. Then I'd think about food. I'd think about bills. Just bring in all the other aspects of life. So that's my story. And I know there's a lot of young adults who will not ever have that story. Will not even experience that. Because they're already evil is set in and said, why do that? Don't do that. When you can just like stay here and lounge. And then the parents of these young adults who, like, what I'm saying is like young adults like 18 to 28 years old. That's that whole age, like a 10-year bracket there. So the 25-year-old will tell themselves like, well, yeah, I'm just going to hang out at home. Because, they have a college degree too. And they're like, I can't find a job, Mom, Dad, so I'm going to go move into my old bedroom and just kind of live off of you guys until things get better. And of course, the parents are like, sounds good. We'd rather have you here than out there. See, and that's the big shift in the mindset of what's going on there. Instead of going through life and experiencing life on life's terms with that person, instead of saying, well, I want you to go out there for a good year and give it your best. Do what you can. See what you can do. See what you can create. And do it on your own, because we're just going to not help you. You're just going to be out there, and you better make it work. Because if it doesn't work out for you there, then don't come running back home. And that's where a lot of Americans are at. They just they just get put outside of their home, and they just have to make it work. And of course, that's when the opportunity to, I think, maybe even grow out and get away from evil. I think the evil was more set in the version of the person who's not doing anything, who's being lazy, procrastinating, who has excuse upon excuse upon justifications upon justifications, and another blame, another complain, and blaming life. I blame life. I won't go out there and just get a minimum paying job, and I'm not going to live in a shitty part of town, where I can barely afford it. But at least you can afford it. You're on your own. And if that's the best you can do, like me, then that's just the best you can do. You have to start, that's where that we become innovators and creators, and that's where we have to think about, like, oh, wow, I need to make more money. I need maybe another, part-time job upon the job I have now to just to have a little bit more than what I need at the end of the month. So that right there is its own spiritual battle. And what I mean by spiritual battle is the fact that people, young adults, will allow evil to set in, and instead in a lazy way, and that's how evil works. Looking for the weakness, looking for the flaws, and they find a weak mind. Start to convince that weak mind about excuses and justifications and reasons and reason upon reasons why things aren't working out, and not even trying. That's the other thing. So then it goes from that to reaction, like, why even bother? Why even try? We're being reactionary to your own mind. Golly. So that is, and I want to stop right there because there's other factors, because it starts with the mind. But where does it finish? Where does it go to after the mind? Just doesn't hang there, does it? No. Oh, no. It really moves. That evil is cunning. It knows how to manipulate humans and us as individuals, and knows that we're going to react and try to hide from life when we should be facing life and not react in a negative way. And that, so it kind of starts there in a mindset and all levels, on all issues, and start to move forward from there. Hope I'm making sense, because I'm going to make more videos talking about this, and take it to other places at the level. And I hope by the end of this, that that will be the right message will be conveyed. Like I've done a good job doing it. That's all I'm here to do. It's just a mission. Mission, save America, to save you. A mission to save you. Can you imagine me saying, I mean, am I save myself? Maybe. I hope so. But my intentions are to help you. This whole conversation is to help you and everyone else in America come to more of an understanding, instead of me using other words that are people might find it, or just the old way of saying things, or doing, not even saying it, but presenting issues, because obviously that's not working. That's like just not working. So we're going to take it somewhere else. We're already playing in a different football field. We're already doing our own thing anyways. And this is why, things like this happen. Great things like this happen. I mean, great. This is a good topic. It's a good thing to think about. Think about what I'm saying. Kind of like, and it might feel a little bit like sandpaper, because you're thinking about yourself. You have to self-assess. Sorry to say that. Don't want to make you self-assess yourself. Oh my God. Look in the mirror. Why would you avoid that? You have no problem looking in the mirror to fix your hair and do your makeup and, be all like, oh, look how handsome I am. Look how beautiful I am. You have no problem doing that. But when it comes to, when I say face yourself, I mean it in a real way. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. We'll talk more about this later. Appreciate your time. Thank you for hearing me out. Okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll talk more later. Okay? Peace, love,